Yo, what's going down, Commanders? Hope everyone's doing fine this fine for Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Thursday for some reason, but it's not. Right, what I'm going to attempt in this video is to put every hero into a tier. So S being the top and Z being the worst. So the S would be the top tier, that it would be the best heroes that we've ever had or seen, and then working the way down to Z, which would be ones that are worthless, that haven't really got a point in the game as heroes. So I'm going to move on straight away. You can see I've got Ages first in line, and for me it's a clown of a hero. It's not, don't live up to its reputation. It's, for me, it's not very good. I'm gonna give it. It's not quite a Z unit, but I'm going to go into the D tier for Ages. I think that's a fair place for it. I don't think it was. It's not entertaining. It never done anything better than anything else. You know, the uses were very limited, so that's why it's a D for me. It possibly could be a C. Just notice your opinions may differ to mine, and understand that my opinion is 100% correct, and yours is dog shit as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, moving on to Alan. I know a lot of people like this unit. If I remember right, don't forget, I am going off a memory off a lot of these units. I'm not judging them on how good they are now. I'm judging on how good they were when they come out. And Alan was okay. If I remember correctly, he had a shotgun, up close shotgun, that done really well. But it was one of them units that was half baked, half cooked, and the window of where it was good to when it was poor was very small. From my own memory, I may be wrong with that, but I'm going to go again. It's a D for Alan. Andrew. He was outdated before he even come into the game. That's the biggest problem with him. They give him 5 new levels quite early, and then again they give him the up to 15. But he was just outdated. With every update that he got, he was just outdated straight away. And again, that's a D. Ardra, back in the day, if I remember Ardra right, it was the first proper tank that we got after the Megas, where you felt like you had a decent tank with a decent armour, and it did things well as a tank. You know, nowadays infantry units are stronger than actual tanks in the game. So with Ardra, I'm going to give him I'm going to go C. I think that's fair. I may move her up to a B later on down the line. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Arietta is the first one I'm going to put in Z. Nothing needs to be said about this unit. It was half-baked, half thought out. Whoever thought of this unit and give it the stats, it was just poor from the start. And even after the 5 extra levels you got to take it to 10, for me it was just a waste of a hero. And I'm going to say this now before I go any further. The SF era heroes are all going to be B+. None of them are going to go up any lower than B. And with Boulder, with that said, I know tons of players used to enjoy Boulder. I wasn't on that hype train, so for me, Boulder's going to be a B. It's only because I didn't get the use out of him that maybe a lot of other players did, but I understand that Boulder was a good unit and he was worthwhile. And that's moving on to Braden. And this is my first one that I'm going to put into the A. Braden was just golden when he first came out. It took a long time to get them extra 5 levels, and he was good after that. I think he was bugged though, and that's why he's not going up to the S, because it was a bug that made him super immune to everything. If you put him with the Devin, it just made him so strong. So Braden's going to go A. And he misses out on S purely for the fact it was a bug, I believe. He's now no longer got that bug. So, yeah, I think that's a fair score for Braden. Brother Jeremiah, another one I didn't really use that much. All I can remember is he had a special talent. That's all I can remember. I don't remember what the talent does. But again, it's SF era. He's going to go into the B. Bub, another wasted unit in my opinion. I know some players enjoyed him. I just think he was a gimmick for the zombie event. I think it was a Hero Showdown zombie event, something along them lines, and it was just, the window of use was so fucking short, it was unbelievable. Even with the 10 new levels he got, 5 new levels, sorry, Let me get that so I've got that in screen. That's perfect. He's a Z. Sorry, but he's a Z. Burnside is another one that is window of use. He actually weren't even that useful when he first came out, to be fair. But he had a tech that would produce 2 flaming zombies on death. And it made it fun to use that unit for a long time after the unit expired or it weren't worthwhile. So with Burnside, I'm going to go a C up there with Arja. Just that's purely for the tech. It's not because the unit was any good or anything like that. Yeah, it was fun using them. I think they were called Flaming Zombies. I'm not 100% sure. It was a special tech that we got during a proper zombie event back in the day. Moving on now to Dedulus. Again, probably the best out of the 3 new air heroes. But he didn't do nothing spectacular. He's a bit stronger than our Ages. He's a bit stronger than the other one, Sarge, I think it's called. But even so, I want to put him in D, but it ain't really fair. I'm going to go C. It's got to be C. Because he's better than Ages, slightly. He doesn't do nothing spectacular in my opinion, but it is what it is. Dante is another one. I can't remember the tech. But he had a tech. I think Boulder had Rain in Blood. I can't remember Dante's tech, but it made him a demon. But it's got to be B. I haven't got much to say about him because I didn't use him that often. But he's an SF era. He's a B. Because of the combination of techs you can put on these SF era heroes, it made them so good. This one is close to... it's so close to being S. Dina with a cloak. I think it's going to be my first S superhero. I think it's got to be. I don't know. It was just so good. I think Dina is the reason why Kixeye made a lot of bases one hit only. Because you used to, if you remember right, you used to have it cloaked. You used to go in, pick off a turret or not barracks, what they called, stronghold or something like that, and you'd end attack, or you'd use that leave quick button, so you click the retreat unit quick and it would retreat it super fast. And if I remember right, that was the reason Kixeye made sure that we couldn't do that no more. It's not going to be S, it's going to be A. I don't think it's quite there. I would love to see a revamp of that unit, by the way. Dennis was a bit of fun. Again, the window was so short with this unit because it was a spam unit with the base unit. I can't even remember what the base unit was called. Gunships, I think. It was such a short window that we had fun with this unit, even with the extra levels. Yeah, it's got to be C. It's not quite D. It is C, I think, for Dennis. Devin has got to be up there. He's got to be way up there because he's still useful today because of the high priority of his bodyguards. Without a doubt, Devin's A. He's got to be A. He's still useful. I would love to see more levels on him and Kixeye to bring him back into the game a bit more. But A, he's not quite S material. Definitely A. Doran, another one. I did use this one quite a lot. I can't remember the talent though. It's so long ago since I've used it, or any of us have used it, to be fair. It's still a B. It's got to be B for Doran. Got to be. A lot of fun. He's close to being an A, but I don't think it's quite there. Dr. Hemlock. It doesn't do nothing spectacular. That's the problem with these units. He's a little bit more powerful than the base unit, the darts. He's not... Again, it's... unimpressed with it. It's a D. Sorry, but whoever designed that, they need to bring the fun factor back in with these heroes. Give them something, make them do something that the base units don't, you know. It's a D. It's got to be. Dylan, another one. Really didn't care for this unit. Sorry to the players that did. The players that you enjoyed it. There wasn't a place for this unit at the time. In my opinion, that we went up to 10 as well. Not fun. Yeah, I think that's a fair Z. Forrest was a good one. Forrest, again, I think he was bugged for a long time as well. So that's going to knock him from an A to a B. I think that's fair. With Forrest, I think that's fair. I would love to see you guys. What I'd do is I'll leave the the link to the website that you can do this on, and maybe you could even make your own videos with this, or you could just take a screenshot of where you've placed all your heroes. I'd love to see everyone else's votes, or where you're going to place all the heroes. Galen, what a missed opportunity Galen was, by the way. It could have been something fun, something good, but kixeye didn't like the fact that this unit was good for a short amount of time. They kind of nerfed him before he needed to be nerfed, in my opinion. For that, he's got to be D. Moving on to Jeff. Does nothing spectacular. Not really that interested in the unit. It would miss its shots. It was a worse unit than the actual base unit, in my opinion. I think the base unit was better than this unit, and that's in my opinion, guys. Don't forget. For that, it's going to be a D. Jenny, they keep breathing a bit of life into Jenny every now and then. We had that buff to the Akuma's Outrunners or whatever it was. I didn't see any difference in that. I think it was just lit play by kixeye. The drone made it high priority. The drone was high priority, should I say. I'm going to go C with Jenny. I'm not going to go quite D. I'm going to say she's a C class hero. This is my first S even. Without a shadow of doubt. I think he's the only one that's going to go up in that S category. Is Jericho. He was good from the day he was fucking put into the game. Right up to this point, there is no other hero that's been like him. None. Not one. And I think he's going to be the only one that goes up in that S class. Right, moving on. Kara. Wasn't my favourite of the two. I think Sheila was what I preferred. But Kara still, again, it's going to be a B. I think if you remember right, she had a Braz gun. I think that was a lot of fun to use. All the SF era units are going to be B and above. I don't think I've put any below that. No. Oh, maybe no. She wasn't. She was Gen 1, wasn't she? Karen, outdated so fast it was untrue. She was good for a month, and then, if I remember right, Salvatore come into the game. She's going to be D. Great if you had the... I'll tell you what was good about it was the Survivors buff, the 100%. I think that was good. Kayla, it's hard with this one. I hate the fact that they put that gimmick tech into the last Hero Showdown. That kind of spoiled Kayla for me, because it was just 100% a gimmick tech. Not really found any uses for her since, even when she got the extra 5 levels, there wasn't much to use her on. The tech was a gimmick in my opinion, but when she come out she was good. I'm going to go C with Kayla. I think that's fair. Kobayashi, it done everything lesser than the actual base unit. The shots of Kobayashi would miss its target. It never had no blue aura. The only thing it had was the Outrunners were slightly stronger and the health was slightly stronger. I reckon D. No, I'm going to go Z. Sorry, Kobayashi's crap. Karl. This is one that fucking bothers me a lot, because Karl, when he first come out, was absolutely fucking fantastic. He used to smoke, if I remember right, as the Herald, I think. And then kixeye touched him. And they changed him so he didn't do no damage to the Herald. And they kixeyed him, basically. And I think that makes Karl... I want to say D, but he's got to go Z, because kixeye fucked around with him. I'll be right back, guys. I just need to get a glass of water. Yeah, what was I saying, Karl? Yeah, kixeye fucked him. Completely screwed him over. Laura, another one that I didn't... It just had no use. Even when it come out, when she come out, shall I say, there was no use for it. There was other units that were just better. Just done the job better than what she did. So for that, it's going to be a Z again. Moving forward to Leonard, probably one of the better units in the game. When it first came out, absolutely fantastic unit. They give it the buff. They give it 2 buffs, in fact, 10 and then 15. Made him really strong. It kept him in the game for a long time. He's not so much in the game no more, but I still think he deserves to be up there in the B. No, A. I'm going to go A with Leonard. Yeah, I think that's fair. Right, Luke, another one that's very, very good. Let's move that up so you can see all the... I might need to zoom out a little bit more. That might work better, I think. Sorry about this, guys. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it properly. Yeah, so Leonard's going up there. Luke again. If it wasn't for the fact when he got his, I think it was level 6 plus, he got a stun or a scramble shot and made him very good. Very, very good. Yeah, I think A again with Luke. Not so much in the game anymore, but he has got that scramble effect, and it just kept him in the game for a long time. Malcolm's an odd one, because Malcolm on paper should be absolute back in when he come out. He should have been absolute fire with a cloak, everything else. One thing held him back once again, it was kixeye. They didn't, when they introduced his 15 level, I think 15th level, he got an extra, or the spotter or something like that. Everything, the two, let me explain this how I remember it. When he got the 15th level, when we took him up to 15, he got an extra sniper with him, and he got the spotter. What happened was the spotter would be uncloaked, so anything with splash would hit the spotter and then kill Malcolm at the same breath. For that reason, and that reason alone, he's going to be C, because kixeyed him. Martin, again, it was a bit paper thin on the older armour. Good range though. If I remember right, he was quite a good unit to have. You could go around and pick off quite a few PvE bases. I can't remember if he was much cop in PvP. I don't remember him being much of a cop in the He's going to be C. I think that's fair. I don't think he's quite D. Matt, great unit. Really good unit. But the window of use for him was again small. And for me, it felt like kixeye had messed with him as well. I'm going to go B with Matt. I don't think he's quite A. I don't think he's Nick. Nick will be A, but Matt B. Max, another unit that should have been better than what it was. It back in its day, it used to fucking eat units alive. Just the dogs. Just the Max alone. And then it got the 15 levels. 5 at each time, and not much use for him. Maybe... I think he can sniff out the cloaked units. I think that there's only saving grace there is the cloaked units he could sniff out. I think again it's going to be C. Mikey, there was a big fucking problem with Mikey. Back when he very first released, he would hit the target with each shot, and then kixeye changed the parameters of the unit that faster moving targets he would miss. And for me, that brings his score down so low. Mikey's going to be a D, just purely for the fact, again, kixeye felt the need to just mess about with the unit and fuck about with him. And it was embarrassing. Neil, never used the unit. I've got to be honest with you guys. I think I maybe had done a test video or something like that, but I never found a use for him. I'm sorry to say that he's going in Z. Nick, this beats Matt for me. I think Nick's window of use was a lot longer than Matt's. Much wider gap between where he was good to where he was useless. I still see some people using him in the base today. I'm hoping he gets another 5 levels come next Hero Showdown, even if we see a next Hero Showdown. But he's got to be up there. His use was for so long in the game. He was very good. He's got to be A. He's not Jericho, guys. No one's going to be Jericho. NYX, if I remember right, there was a player called Karl. He used to love this unit. He still, I think, till about a year ago, he was making videos with this unit. I was never a massive fan, but I do remember doing events we could smoke the hardest, either the Ultra or whatever the hardest base was, with just NYX. I think even PvP, she was pretty good for a time. I'm going to go B with Nyx. Oren, I know I'm going to get kicked in the bollocks if Shadow Killer ever hears this video, because he loved the base unit, the Apollo. I think Oren, for me, I just didn't use it. And for that, I'm not going to go Z with it, because I know some players did like it, and I know I've watched some videos where it was very good use. Yeah, it's got to be D. Pandora, not as good as Dina, nowhere near it. And for that reason, if I remember right, it was one of the only units kixeye. There was an event or something that you had to get top 500, top 1000, and you would get the wingman or something. I can't remember what the tech was exactly, but they give the top 1,000 or whatever it was, the wingman, and within a month they give everyone it. For that, it's going to be a B, just for that reason. Poly again, another unit I never used much. I know it wasn't a scramble effect, it was a it was a scramble effect, not confusion. Come in handy in a few of the Hero Showdown events, but not overly used. It had a cloak as well, and that's something I miss in the game, is cloaked units. We don't seem to get many of them anymore. I'm going to go C. I'm going to go C with Polly. Rick, another one I never used much of. I remember the salvo of missiles. He used to get 2 salvos, and that would come in handy in PvP. But even if you use it now, after they give him 5 new levels last Hero Showdown, I believe, or the one before that, and they didn't update the salvo of missiles. So when he got to a certain point of damage, he would release 10, 5 or whatever it was missiles, and you used to be able to take out a chunk of the base. They didn't update that, and for that reason, it's a D. Roland, again, it was one of them units, not as good as what was her name, Ardra, nowhere near as good as Ardra. Did have a bit of fun using him though. It's going to be a D. It's got to be a D, I'm afraid. How do I make that? I've got to leave it like that. The new one, Rosie. Although it's only level 10, I'm far from impressed. Far from impressed. There's nothing. They don't bring nothing new to the table. She shoots these massive missiles, but it's got 0 splash. So you can only take her on 1 versus 1 against a unit, because you're not going to splash kill anything else around it or anything that's close to that unit. For that reason, it's a D. I'm not impressed with it. It shoots fast. It looks good on paper. Everything about the unit tells me it's good. But when you actually get down to the point of using the unit, for me, it's a big, big letdown. Salvatore, for me, it's probably my first one that's going to go up there, right up there. Not S. No unit's as good as Jericho, but no hero, should I say, as good as Jericho. But it is up there. It's probably the only hero of the newest, the S series or the Series 1s, Series 2s, whatever they were, that's close to pushing up the top there. I'm struggling to give this one a score, because it's either A or B, and I think the fairer one is B, because even now, yeah, it's a B. Sorry, but you can probably disagree with me there, but that's entirely up to you. Not as good as what I thought it was going to be. Sorry, the window of use for the Salvatore was very narrow. Sunday, one of my favourite heroes, and a lot of people, Spain. A lot of people didn't like him, but I enjoyed him. I thought he was fun. He's going right up there. He's going an A. I wish Kixeye would give him an extra 5 levels. Sorry about that. My mouth's running dry. Yeah, just such a good unit. He's just wasted. He needs that extra 5 levels. Bring him back into the game, in my opinion. Santiago, I never used him. I only recently, I had all the tokens to take him to level 10 months and months and months and months, maybe even years ago, and I never bothered. I only recently took him to 10 because I was bored and I needed something to do in the game, and just didn't use him. Sorry guys, he's a Z. Sarge, absolute dog shit. I'm not even going to argue about that one. Sarge deserves a Z. Sheila was probably my favourite at the between Karl and Sheila. Was it Sheila had the Braz gun, or was it Karl? I can't remember. You guys can put me right in the chat, in the description below. Sheila's going to be A. I did enjoy that unit. Skipjacks, again, it was sort of like giving the moderator the name of the unit. I understood that. I've got no issues with Skipjacks, the actual moderator, or whatsoever. But the unit itself, the window of use for the unit itself was very, very minimal. Even with the extra 10 levels, I don't even think I used it that much after she got 5 more levels to level 10. For that reason, it's a D. Andrew, Phalanx were fucking fantastic. This is another unit that sort of, it come out, and by the time it come out, the base unit was was gone. It was gone by the wayside. So Andrew, you know, at the same time was gone. It was a bit of fun for a very short. Kixeye don't like spam units. If there's a unit that we can use to spam bases, Kixeye fucking are quick to nerf them, and that's the biggest problem. Is Kixeye doing shitting on their own products. Even when it got the 15 levels, the extra 5 levels with you got spawning units with it, I thought that was crap. Just low entertainment unit. It's a D. And Weaver, I think Weaver's a funny one because although its window of use was very, very short as a Liberator hero, I don't even think the Liberators were any good by the time he come out. He had a 10-second armour up. It would take very, very little damage. And it would be useful, and the repair time was fair on him. It would be useful as a tank out in front of other units for that 10 seconds. I reckon a B for Weaver. Let me zoom out, guys, because we are pretty much zoom in, sorry, so you can see the full picture. That's where I vote them. So the only one that's an S is Jericho, and you can argue with me all day long. There's no unit, no hero that's been as actively used for as long as that unit has. Not one. So the A class is Braden, Dina, Devin, Leonard, Luke, Nick, Sundown, Sheila. And the B class would be Boulder, Brother Geronimo, Dante, Doran, Forrest, Kara, Matt, Nix, Pandora, Salvatore and Weaver. Class C is Ardra, Burnside, only because of that tech. Dedulus, Dennis, Jenny, Kayla, Malcolm, Martin, Max and Polly. And then Class D I've gone Ages. I think do you know what? I'm going to move that one. Ages is going in Z. So Alan, Andrew, Dr. Hemlock, Galen, which is a unit I'd love to see him bring back into the game. Jeff, Karen, Mikey, Roland, Oren, Rick, Rosie, Skipjacks and Andrew. And in Class Z, what units that it wouldn't have mattered if I got them or not because they were zero entertainment, is Arietta, Bub, Dylan, Kobayashi, Karl, Laura, Neil, Santiago, Sarge and Ages. I'd love to see your picks, guys. I will leave the website description in the description below, and you can give your own votes. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.